So, this is more of kind of a personal vlog and kind of a weird, like, personal observation and kind of a weird personal, I guess, semi vent that has been kind of floating around in my mind for a bit. And, I don't know. I guess it's just something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but I don't know like I've been battling with the way to properly talk about it for quite some time. So, so the best way I could possibly do this is kind of just uncut, uncensored and raw as much as possible. And if I'm going to do that, then I should try and at least do this proper. Hang on. Like, let me. All right, well, I've got the microphone literally right in front of my camera, in front of my screen. I've got the white t shirt on. I sound like that guy from Florida who's really popular. I guess let's do this shit. Uh, no, but yeah, I got the camera angle just like his almost, except it's kind of at a curve a little bit, so it's a bunch of, it's a bunch of, almond lizard titty milk in here. I can't believe this shit. No, I love Critical, but no, there's no easy way to really talk about this, but I guess there really isn't a way to discuss this either. Toxic content culture, or more specifically, toxic like content creator culture. Something that's really bothered me as a smaller creator, and I mean this as a much smaller creator because I don't have, like, anywhere near the view count that, a lot of these other creators have, like say on Twitch or say on, YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, where there's people that are like in the thousands or 100,000s or millions, where they they have these professional setups and have these professional like editors and these professional like studio people and people that are hired to edit for them and people are like cameramen for them and like like a whole crew. I don't have that. I literally have what I can, get either on sale, what I can buy, what I can afford, uh stuff that my friends or family or my own community has gifted me and has, done for me, or I've gotten through like, various promotions or ambassadorships, or, I've saved up for. So it's like, there really is this sort of toxic internet creator culture where when you get to a certain threshold of numbers, a certain threshold of followers, a lot of people tend to view things less and less about the art of creating something less and less about like having fun with it, less and less about like, you know, getting together with friends and playing games and just having a goofy time, and more about the business side of things, more about the numbers, the analytics, the what prints the most money type of thing. And I understand that for a lot of people, especially if they have a high amount of, followers and stuff, yes, YouTube is their full-time job. Twitch is their full-time job. Like streaming, editing, creating content, setting up green screens, doing tier lists, doing VTuber stuff. That's their bread and butter. That's what, pays their taxes at the end of the year. And I understand that. 1099 taxes are expensive. But you know, there really is this sort of weird toxicity of once you get past a certain threshold point of creating content and getting sponsorships and making money and putting out more and more higher quality stuff, that you lose sight of what it's like to be engaged with your community, what it's like to be engaged with your fans, what it's like to be engaged with your friends, with the people that got you there, what it's like to actually just have fun and make something fun for the sake of having fun. It didn't matter how terrible the quality of the production is. It didn't matter how bad the green screen looks. It didn't matter, how choppy or awful the audio sounded. It didn't matter if you borrowed, music from a royalty-free thing. What mattered is you had fun. You made something. You created something with your own two hands. You got people together to like make something with you. I you know it's wild because there's such a weird mentality of, well, it's all, at the end of the day, it's all a business. At the end of the day, it's all a production. At the end of the day, a lot of these people will, claim, oh, you don't want to have a parasocial relationship with people. You don't want to have this parasocial relationship with your community. You don't want to be close to them. And like, I get it to some extent, right? Like, there are people who like, will protect themselves because, they have higher numbers. They're basically celebrities and they have to live in these gated communities and these gated areas and, have cameras and security on them 24/7 because God forbid someone internet stalks them or cyber bullies them or, it does something. And there's been cases like that. And it's terrible. It's awful that content creators, big or small, have to live in fear and, deal with this. So, but at the same time, it doesn't help when you have content creators or streamers or editors or artists or animators or people who work in the industry, who all they want to do is have fun and put stuff out and, achieve some sort of success, even if it's just a small amount, right? And, nobody notices that. It goes unnoticed. It goes unwatched. It goes, unloved. You're lucky if a video breaks, 10 views, even more than that. And I have a backlog of stuff, right? That is literally like, I know for a fact has 0 views that I've heavily promoted, even that I've made with friends, with people. No one watches it. I've had people unsubscribe and unfollow on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, on everywhere because I wasn't putting out at a pace that a lot of people are used to, you know? And I've had people even unfollow and unsubscribe and, you know, even just stop being my friend because I would invite a friend out to come and experience a thing with me and enjoy life and go see a movie, go try a restaurant, go to the park, you know, be goofy and random and, you know, have a great time. And the minute I suggest, hey, this would be really funny to capture, you know, on film or on photo and just share our experiences online and just show we're having fun and, you know, having a good time. It didn't matter the views. It didn't matter if it was content or not. I just wanted to put out my memories and the fun experiences that I have with people, with my community, with my friends. And the minute me or another content creator or another friend suggests something like that, there's immediately this backlash of, oh, is this all just content? Are you just doing this all for the clout? Are you doing all this just so you get more views? Are we just material to you? Like, no. You know? It hurts when people say that. It hurts when people think that. It hurts when just because, you know, I want to capture a moment on film and cherish it and look back on it, you know, doesn't mean everything's going to be content. So, and I noticed that there's a trend with bigger creators on YouTube, on Twitch, on Kick, on Blue Sky, on X. Twitter. I refuse to call it X. On Facebook, even on Instagram, where people are, you know, constantly bad mouthing each other like it's TMZ. They're constantly, you know, poking riffs at each other and, like, you know, going after each other. You know, they're trying to up one each other. They're trying to go for, you know, I'm the most subscribed person on Twitch. No, I'm the most subscribed VTuber on Twitch. No, I'm the most subscribed person on YouTube. Like, and then you've got other creators who, like, especially the food bloggers and the food reviewers, right? Who, like, you know, the people that, like, you know, will post news about upcoming snacks and upcoming, you know, like, junk foods and sodas and, you know, the people that get sent stuff from brands and, you know, they do unboxings and reviews and stuff like that, right? There's drama in those communities too. Like, just a while back, I unfollowed like 6 different, you know, food blogger people that I used to really like that I thought were cool because they all had this petty high school level just shit going on. There's no better word to say. It's just shit. It's just mudslinging. Because, oh, well, I posted about the leak first, so you stole from me. Well, no, I wanted to post about it on my page, so it's free material, man. I could just post whatever. No, you stole from me. Well, I stole from you. Well, then who sorted and sourced who? Like, guys, it's the internet. No one cares who sourced who first. If I hear from a page, right, that there's a brand new Mountain Dew flavor coming out, right? Cool. I heard there's a new Mountain Dew flavor possibly coming out. That's great, right? But I don't care who posts it first. I just care about the news. Same thing with, Twitter and Blue Sky. Like, there's artists in the animation industry that I follow that I really like. And, I stopped following them and I stopped, supporting them because they started having these really awful sort of like, not just animation takes about the industry, and then backpedal about their favorite animations from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even recents, like the zeros and the 2010s and 2020s, and, harshly criticize what people really like, and then get all defensive when other people do it to them. This sort of double standard. Like, animation industry is toxic right now and it's falling apart. I mean, look what they're doing to Looney Tunes. Look what they're doing to, like old Fleischer cartoons. Look what they're doing to stuff from the 2000s and 90s. Everything's getting rebooted and re-brought back, and it's not as good, and it's just, some of it's good, some of it's not good. Even movies nowadays, like, you guys know I review movies, right? I review them where I can. I even have an ambassadorship that's, part of that is dedicated to reviewing movies and producing more episodes. I don't do the, the stereotypical, this movie gets a 5 out of 5 stars. It gets an 8.5.1 chimichanga out of 10. Like, because there's so many people that do that. And there's no fun in that. It's just easier to just sort of riff about a movie, crack a couple jokes, and say what I like and dislike, and have a good time. And, I'm lucky enough that I haven't had a lot of people disagree on my movie reviews quite yet, but when it does happen, like, I'm ready to sit down and have a engaging chat with people and be like, hey, you know what? That's a valid point. Maybe you liked this movie and this scene for a particular reason, Maybe Snow White isn't complete trash, which, by the way, spoiler for a movie review coming up, but yeah, so Snow White's trash. But, like, there's so much double standard, toxic content creator culture. And it goes beyond just, oh, you don't ever follow to follow type stuff. Or it goes beyond, hey, you should check out my stuff and I'll check out your stuff, and, we can do whatever. It goes beyond trying to invite another, streamer to play video games with you and just hang out and get to know them. There's so much defensiveness in the world of creation. And this is something that I've not necessarily wanted to vent about, but just bring to light, because I would love if I got popular enough to produce videos, to edit, to stream, to game full time. I would love to quit my day job and just make stuff full time for everybody and make money off of that to just simply pay my bills. Pay for a couple new games, some new tech, and just, maybe some upgrades around here. Hell, I would love to sell where I live now and actually move into a house one day. That would be amazing. Doesn't even have to be a big house, just a small, modest house. But until then, I have to keep working. I have to keep working a job that pays the bills. When I know a lot of creators that do the same thing. I know artists that work on animation that also have Uber and Lyft and DoorDash on the side just to have money to keep the lights on. I know streamers on Twitch and YouTube who, believe it or not, have a second, or hell, even just a side job, somewhere like a Home Depot, or like a tech firm, or like a call agency, or an insurance place, just so that they can pay the bills. But we're all at each other's throats 24/7, 365 as of late, when all we're trying to do is it goes beyond just putting content out. It goes beyond just entertaining people. It goes beyond just, creating art and creating memories and creating ideas and having a think tank. We're attacking each other simply for living in the moment and capturing the moment. Somehow, with art, along the way, we just sort of got lost in translation with this whole streamer, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, who gets the most likes, who gets the most subscribers, most followers stuff. I'm blessed every single day when I get giddy with excitement when even a small indie company reaches out to me and says, hey, we would love if you played our game on your stream and showed off your game. That would be amazing, absolutely. I have to make sure it fits with the theme of my my channels and stuff, but yeah. I love it when brands obviously PlayStation, or again Mountain Dew, or Coca-Cola, or God, I just all the things in my room, Hellman's mayonnaise, Charlie's cheesesteaks. All these companies reach out to me and be like, hey, we're going to send you some stuff, or hey, you want a giveaway, or hey, you want a prize in our contest. It would be great if you shared it on social media and posted about it. Be like, yeah, absolutely. That's so much fun. I've been blessed to be able to do the stuff that I've gotten to do, even with a microphone, even with one monitor. Yeah, one monitor setup. That's all I've got. Ugh. Even with this little dinky Logitech webcam that I bought from, Best Buy, that I saved up the money to get a higher quality camera, even with my green screen that I am still learning how to use, right? I'm still learning the ropes on how to use a green screen. Especially running in Sony Vegas, it ain't easy. I guess the point of this emotional, uncut sort of vlog is it doesn't feel fun to create stuff when the environment around you is either nothing but consistent brain rot that doesn't promote any sort of, idea or principle behind it, Or when you have creators and streamers and animators and VTubers and personalities and vloggers that are all battling at each other's throats and creating drama and starting shit up like it's high school all over again. There's literally a song by Bowling for Soup that describes this situation. Hell, I've even done a hot takes stream and episode all about this type of thing. Except now, back then that episode was about friends and, family and coworkers and, your environment overall. Now it's completely different ball game when it comes to online social content. So I don't know. I just make shit for fun. And if I get paid for it in the process or get sent something in the process or, a company likes what I do. This is water, by the way. Then all I gotta say is hell yeah. That's amazing. I'm glad you want to support. I'm glad you want me to produce and make more. But with how wild the landscape of creation is, I think we all lost the perspective of what it's like to make something just for the sake of making something. And I know this is a roundabout way of saying this, but I'm very happy that I have over 100 subscribers on YouTube. I really am. I really, really am. And I want to thank all of you, for tuning in, for watching my antics, for watching, my friends' antics, for watching my family's antics, for watching the antics that my coworkers even do, the antics that, that me and my partner do, and I know my relationship's a little out there, let's just say that, a little non-conformative, a little unconventional, but it's still love, it's still relationship, it's still valid, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And you guys are just as amazing. So thank you for over 100 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate it. I want to do a proper 100 subscriber special. And I've been kind of tinkering around with a lot of ideas and scrapping a lot of ideas for quite some time on it. But I have a base idea for it. So bear with me. It is still coming out. And we're almost at the 200 mark. Because last I checked, we were at like 179, 180. So I don't know what I'm going to do with 200 subscribers. But I'm still working on 100. But just next time you work on something, next time you post some art, next time you put out a video, next time you create something, next time you put yourself out there in the world, do it not because you're trying to, beat each other in this infinite rat race that we call capitalism and, society. Do it because you want to cherish a moment. You want to have fun. You want to make something that's cool to you. And you just want to share it with the world. Let's get back to doing that. The more we do that, I think the happier we'll be. Anyhow, that about does it. I just wanted to talk about, sort of this toxic, content creator culture, and wanted to just touch base on that. So, see ya.